This is a view of Kinsale from the James Fort area. We're going to endeavor to see where James Fort is now. These are some of the boats. A lot of people have boats in Kinsale because you're very close to the ocean. You go out fishing, sail it, some decent sized sails, put boats there. And that's a view of Kinsale Harbor. From a local, how to get to the James Fort. And we're going to tell you about James Fort as we get there. And this is, as I say, this is a great little community. Lots of little bars and pubs all over the place. And the people here in Ireland are so friendly. Here's a map that's obliterated, sadly. Dock with Stonewall cider. There's a parking lot. It's supposed to be a parking place. I don't know. Really, it's just access to the boat. James Fort, this way. Who would know? And there's the seaweed. Let's walk up to James Fort. I'll stop the recording until we get there. Race to a fence is another 35 degree incline. We're walking up a hill to James Fort. James Fort. And it says, following the Battle of Kinsale, construction work began on James Fort in 1602 under the direction of engineer Paul Ive. It was completed 1604 at a cost of £645. James Fort is a large pentagon-shaped fort and enclosed by a rampart of earth and sod with a parapet. The outer defenses include a ditch, counterscarp, covered way on the west side. The entrance is situated on the southern curtain wall. In 1611, the fort's defenses were augmented with the construction of an inner citadel, gatehouse, and drawbridge. In 1649, the fort was captured by Cromwellian supporters without struggle. In 1667, further work on the defenses was undertaken by Lord Omri. In October 3rd, 1690, Fort James was attacked and taken by Williamite soldiers under the command of Duke of Wurtemberg and John Churchill, later 1st Duke of Marlborough. Colonel O'Driscoll had held the fort for King James II. Fort Charles, on the other side of the entrance to Kinsale Bay. And we're now approaching Fort James. These two forts in tandem to prevent any ships from coming in. That gap you see over there, which leads to the Atlantic Ocean. So that's why these two forts were essentially commanded. This is basically a killing zone. Beauty. It's the hill toward the golf course. We're walking the Atlantic Ocean. Beautiful day today. So, finally, Gary's Tour fans, we've walked all around this fort. We've come to an entranceway. where you have to punch over and you go into the fort. There's no admission. It's free because the Irish government's not really maintaining it. And there's the fort. This is Fort James. So we've been allowed to get into disrepair. And this is what's left of it. Let's take a look and see what we see. This is really sort of like exploring. We don't know, we're the only people here. No one else is here. It's not being pushed or promoted. But Gary's Tours is here. And you can see this for free. Won't cost you €1. And you can see on top of the parapet, it has a view of Fort Charles across the way, and could effectively cannon fire. Well, I can't see. That's what the goal is about. Let's see how they defended it. Sort of like a moat. We'd have to go down into the moat. They could probably fill that with water. Holes for guns. Attachments for cannons. Cannons can easily and mortars can easily be mounted. It's like a good chunk of the castle's deteriorated and gone. Or this fort has deteriorated and gone. Beautiful day here in Kinsale. After the dust settled in the Battle of Kinsale, the Spanish storm had passed. Work began on Fort James. Blockhouse by the shoreline overlooked the access to Cool Drive. The walls of the fort, you have viewed the entire harbor. Since the 1690 conflict has been used and now lays in ruin. Once again, we credit Barry Maloney for this find. This is in his book, Kinsale, by Barry Maloney. He's the author, and he's the one who recommended we come take a look at it and do this video for you. Particularly on a day like this in Kinsale. Beautiful day. It's supposed to be cloudy. They always predict cloudy and rain. They're always wrong. Just ignore the weather and go and have a good time. This has been brought to you by Gary's Tours. Please like and subscribe. Another view of Kinsale Harbor, Kinsale Town. Right at Fort James, which has a great view of Kinsale Harbor and Kinsale Town. You can see it all the way back. You see how Kinsale is at the water level and it's surrounded by mountains on all sides. With unusually large homes. That was what made it so great, because it was protected by mountains on all sides. So you could have a village and shipping from here, access to the Atlantic Ocean, and it was relatively protected. That's why they drew a wall around the city that were around a small part of the city that was lower near water, and the mountains offered them protection. Now, I'll tell you, Gary's tour there. This is not the most fun tour to do. There's no one here. You can easily break an ankle, twist an ankle, and have to call for help. And You're walking on relatively unprotected, unmaintained walks and rocks. So wear your best hiking boots and make sure it'll be good if they gave you some ankle support. Unfortunately for me, I'm not wearing anything with ankle support right now. But I could use it because you're walking up and down hills and it's not an easy path to walk on. Looks easy now, but it's not. So just keep that in mind, those of you who are challenged in any way. Okay, Gary's Tour fans, we've done a prior video for you on Fort Charles. I just wanted to show you, this is part of our Fort James video. And you can see across the way, Fort James. Here's Fort Charles, we're over at Fort Charles now. A beautiful sunny day, and behind those towers, the chimneys, is the Atlantic Ocean. We're getting a good breeze from the Atlantic Ocean today. Now, if we slowly pan to the right, you can see out on that point Fort James. Let's get to a better position and zoom in a little bit for you. There is the residue of Fort James. Above the cars, in the distance, that's Fort James. So Fort James was in an excellent position in connection with Fort Charles, this narrow point. Let's walk down and see how narrow it gets. It's here, with cannon emplacements. You can see where the cannon would be in those holes, and then on the other side is an equal number of holes for cannon emplacements. Now, we just pan across this narrowing with turn. You can see James. You can see the stone parapet. I guess I'm not sure it's the high point of that fort right there. That fort is surrounded by dirt redoubts, big piles of dirt, and then a moat inside, and then a wall inside that. So that's the entrances. You notice how narrow it is right here? This is the narrowest point of a ship coming in. Now, it's just sailing ships coming in. They have to win. They have to tack back and forth and whatever. They get the prevailing wind from the Atlantic Ocean. I'm not sure what direction to go, and I've never been a sailboat captain, but this is a narrow point. They have to go back and forth to sail the ships in to their home plateau. This is the background Kinsale. While they're doing that, they probably slow down here substantially on the cannon. Both at Fort Charles and in Fort James, we'll be blasting away at them. It's the killing zone. And once one ship goes down and starts blocking the passageway, it's going to be difficult for the rest of the ships to get in. So this is a very good defensive point. Remember, their enemies were the Spanish. The Spanish they tried before and took it briefly. They also took briefly Galway. The Spanish felt they're not very far in terms of nautical distance from Spain. Come over here, take a couple hours if they want to go. This concludes our tour of Fort James. Gary's Tours. Like it, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. And this is Gary saying thank you.